It's 1996. Nintendo just struck gold with their release of Super Mario 64, the first 3D platformer featuring the Italian Plumber. It introduced a new generation to the Mario franchise, and we were hooked. We needed more, and everyone was begging for a sequel. The years went by, and rumors circulated about Super Mario 64 2. After 4 years of waiting, Nintendo finally released a new Mario game. But it wasn't exactly what we had in mind.
Let's go!
Paper Mario was released in August of the year 2000. People didn't know what to think. We had just had a glimpse of Mario in the third dimension, and now we were expected to downgrade to 2D again? And he's made of paper now? This was the weirdest premise, and I definitely didn't know what to expect. If it were up to me, I probably would have skipped playing this game altogether. But on Christmas Day, my sister and I received the interesting title as a gift. We gave it a try, despite our disappointment in what Mario had become. And let me tell you, this game is absolutely incredible. From the moment we started playing, we were hooked. The graphics were solid, the gameplay was addictive, and the story was actually interesting. On top of that, the game was chock full of humor that honestly made me laugh way more than it had any business doing. I remembered this being the first Nintendo 64 game we played that actually required strategy rather than just pressing B and pummeling your opponent. Unfortunately, the game was eventually beaten, and we moved on to the next one, as children do. However, the fun I had playing that game was never forgotten, and today, we're going to jump back in and see if it was actually as good as I remember, or if it's just another case of nostalgia blindness. The game starts off as most Mario games do. Peach has sent Mario an invitation to a party at the castle, with the promise of sweets. Honestly, I'm starting to wonder if cake has been the true motivation for Mario all along. You head to the castle and meet up with the princess, only to have the party crashed by everyone's favorite turtle, bull, dragon thing, Bowser. Bowser raises the castle into what seems to be outer space. Like, how are they breathing right now? Whatever. They're paper. Logic has been thrown out the window. Bowser is about to take the princess again, but this time, he's come prepared and has gotten his hands on a mythical artifact known as the Star Rod. Mario squares off with him, like usual, but in a twist, Mario is powerless against the roided-up Koopa. Bowser wrecks Mario, and just like the logic, throws him out the window as well. Imagine how we felt seeing this as kids. Mario had never lost to Bowser, and here, he was not only overpowered, but humiliated. Mario falls back to the Mushroom Kingdom, unconscious, and is discovered by a friendly Goomba. She brings you to a Toad's house, which is this game's version of a Pokemon Center, and brings you back to your feet. It turns out there's an entire Goomba family. Wait, these guys that we've been stomping on all these years had families? They had children? Who's the real monster here?
It's me, Mario!
The family consists of Goompa, Gooma, Goompapa, Goodra, Gooby, Google, Goomama, Goombaria, and most importantly, Goombario. They inform you of what happened, and Bowser's right-hand man, woman, Kammy Koopa, has placed blocks preventing you from returning to the castle. After wandering around, you'll eventually find Goompa, who entrusts you with his hammer, capable of breaking blocks. Alongside jumping, the hammer is one of the primary forms of attack in the game, and can also be used outside of battle. You head back to destroy the block, and are confronted by this egg dude. His name is Junior Troopa, and if you don't like him, bad news, he shows up. A lot. Beating up this jerk is your first real taste of battle. The battle system works in an RPG turn-based format. You attack, they attack, pretty straightforward. There are, however, special attacks that you obtain using flower power to deal extra damage. You can also equip badges that increase attack, defense, and even negatively affect the enemy's attacks. After beating Togepi, you're able to return to the Goomba house and destroy the block. Upon leaving, one of the youngest Goombas, Goombario, decides he wants to accompany you on your journey to reclaim the Mushroom Kingdom. His parents are cool with it, despite knowing what Mario does to Goombas for a living. Having Goombario on your side allows you 2 attacks during the battle instead of 1, and he can also tattle to let you know your enemy's weakness and health bar. It's pretty helpful at times. You embark on your mission and soon come across your first boss, King Goomba and his underlings, who have removed the bridge you need to cross to proceed. You give him the business pretty easily, and proceed to Toad Town. Toad Town serves as the central hub for the game, as it contains the entrances to the various areas you'll need to explore to proceed. Leaving to the north, you come across the land where Peach's castle used to reside. Exploring further, you come across Shooting Star Summit, where you're greeted by the projections of the 7 star spirits. They explain that they were the guardians of the Star Rod, but that Bowser was able to steal it and captured the spirits, each trapped by a different boss. Your only hope of beating Bowser is with their combined help, and it's up to you to set them free. After speaking to the spirits, the story cuts to Princess Peach, who is still inside the castle as Bowser's prisoner. She is visited by a star child named Twink. That hasn't aged well. With Twink's help, she's able to communicate with Mario, as well as sending him items and tips on future bosses. She sends Twink to let Mario know the first star spirit is being held captive in a castle by the Ninja Turtles. No, for real. Ninja Turtles. You head to their castle and pick up another partner along the way, Cooper the Koopa. Yeah, the names are all kinda like that. Cooper can be used to attack enemies outside of battle, as well as retrieving items. You can switch out partners at any time, but let's be honest, no one uses Goombario. You head to the stronghold, and after completing different puzzles, you obtain yet another partner, a Bob-omb named Bombette. Yeah, I told you. Now it's time to take on the Koopa Bros for your first real boss. The battle is actually pretty interesting, and it's in 2 phases. First, you gotta take on a Megazord. Then, you got the Power Rangers. I remember the second phase giving us a lot of trouble as kids, but my adult brain figured it out pretty easily. After beating the Squirtle Squad, you release the first star spirit and obtain his powers. This allows you the ability to heal a bit during battle and replenishes a bit of your flower power. After the boss fight, the story cuts back to Peach in the castle. This time, you're able to control Peach and along with Twink, explore the castle to find information to help Mario, all while evading Bowser's security team. The Peach segments occur after every boss, and are often pretty fun. They're definitely a nice change of pace after pushing through each level. You receive information from Peach that the next spirit is being held in the dry desert, so you take a train and travel across the terrain, picking up a paratrooper named Parakarry. There are a ton of puzzles and side missions you have to complete before finding the boss's lair, a pyramid. But after that, it's just business as usual. Traverse the dungeon, beat up some bad guys, destroy the boss, wham bam, thank you ma'am. You release the second star spirit, and it's off to the next one.
Another one.
The third level is by far my favorite. You come across a guard who is getting terrorized by a ghost, whom you follow through a creepy forest to Boo Manor. After completing more creepy puzzles, you meet a female Boo named Lady Bo. She informs you that a terrible monster named Tubba Blubba has been eating Boos in the area. He is said to be invincible, but for the sake of the Boos, he must be stopped. She tags along and provides the ability to become invisible to enemies in the overworld. Together, you travel to the neighboring town and actually witness the monster eating Boos. Good luck sleeping tonight. You follow him to his castle and take on the beast, but he is in fact invincible. You search through the house and eventually find a talking key that holds the secret to Tubba's invincibility. After alerting its master, Tubba Blubba chases you through his collapsing castle to prevent you from uncovering his weakness. This chase phase gave me severe anxiety as a kid, and 20 years later, it still had me panicking. I'm pretty sure it's the reason I still freak out whenever I'm being chased during video games.
Oh no! Run, Dennis, run! Hobble faster! Hobble faster!
With the help of the local Boos, you're able to pull away and unlock the building containing Tubba Blubba's weakness, his heart. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. You get hit with heart attacks, but eventually beat him up enough for him to flee, reuniting with his master. Unfortunately, this makes Tubba Blubba a blubbering baby. After a few attacks, he's down and you've rescued another star spirit.
Another one.
When you return to Toad Town, you find it overrun with Shy Guys who are stealing from the locals. You track them down and discover their hideout, Shy Guy's Toy Box. This one's pretty neat, but straightforward. You have to fix the various train tracks, beat a creepy mini-boss to rescue your next best buddy, Watt, and then take on the boss. This time, the boss is an army of Shy Guys, led by General Guy. You have to take down multiple Shy Guy formations along with the General and his tank. The fight takes a while, but once he's down, the Star Spirit is set free, and you're one step closer to taking on Bowser.
And another one.
The next Star Spirit is being held captive inside a volcano on a tropical island. After helping a whale dispose of a pesky Saints fan he accidentally swallowed, he ferries you to Yoshi Island. Oh, please let me have a Yoshi. Please let me have a Yoshi. Here, you get your newest partner, Sushi. Sushi the fish lets you travel across water, but I was still drowning in disappointment. With Sushi by your side and the help of a giant eggplant raven thing, you reach the volcano and take on the giant piranha plant dwelling inside. This fiery boy has 2 phases and was legitimately challenging. I died a couple times, but eventually took him down and freed the Star Spirit. Only 2 more to go. The penultimate spirit is located in a magical garden, occupied by living flowers. However, the land has been cast into darkness by the boss, a giant cloud fart thing. You have to complete multiple fetch quests and eventually clear up the overlooming clouds to free the sun. Oh, and you fight this Lakitu guy. He's okay. You're best friends now. With him, you travel up a magical beanstalk, because why not? Then you take on the boss. He's a pain as well as his fartlings, but nothing we can't handle. The boss is down, and this gas has been passed.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now there's only one more boss between us and Bowser. The final star resides in the snowy mountains, held captive by an ice apparition. On your way to the icy stronghold, you pass through a penguin village where you're caught up in an actual murder investigation. Yeah, that's right. You're the #1 suspect accused of penguin murder. Good luck finding a job after this. That situation, it kind of resolves itself, and you proceed to the icy fortress to fight the Ice King. This guy is definitely worthy of being the final non-Bowser fight. He's tough and doesn't want to relinquish the star, but after enough pummeling, you convince the Ice Monarch to let it go.
It's time to stop!
Now, it's the time we've all been waiting for. We've rescued all of the Star Spirits, and Bowser is the only thing standing between us and cake. Using the combined power of the Star Spirits, you travel to Bowser's lair. We're in the endgame now. You take on his waves of minions, as well as tricky puzzles, and finally, we're back to where the story began. It's time to take on King Koopa. During the fight, he again tries to become invincible, but with the Star Spirit's help, you're able to take him down a notch. You eventually gain the upper hand, but with Kammy Koopa's help, Bowser is able to overpower you yet again. Luckily, there's one more star on the sidelines. Twink! Using the power of wishes, Twink joins Mario as they prepare to beat Bowser's rod.
Where the fuck are your parents?
And you're finally able to take down the evil King Bowser. The battle is over and all is well. The castle returns to the ground, the Star Spirits return to the heavens, and everyone gets cake. The end. So now that we've successfully beaten the game, how did it hold up over the years? It's time to discuss the good and the bad. First, the good. Starting off, I'd like to discuss the graphics of Paper Mario. Though it turned me off when I first started as a kid, it quickly grew on me, and I'm happy to say that the graphics have really held up over the years. As I'm sure you can see, the gameplay looks surprisingly good for a game that's 20 years old, whereas Mario 64 shows its age a lot more in my opinion. Secondly, the gameplay itself is really fun, and I enjoyed the battles as well as the overworld interaction. I still enjoy the free-roaming beat-em-up Mario games, but the turn-based combat and leveling up system really makes you feel like you're getting stronger along the way to your final battle. Lastly, I want to discuss the story. In most Mario games, the story is pretty bare bones. Beat enough levels, beat Bowser, save the princess. And yeah, I'm aware this game kinda fits that format as well, but there's so many side quests and characters to interact with. The stakes also felt much higher for me. In most Mario games, the only reason you haven't saved the princess is because you haven't seen Bowser to beat him up. This time, you tried, and lost. And now, you have to get a lot stronger before you even have a chance to take him on. It was a nice change of pace, and really made beating the game feel like an accomplishment. Now, on to the bad. And I hate to be a tease, but there really wasn't much wrong with this game. Some of the quests seemed a little tedious at times, but they never really bothered me or made me feel bored. One complaint that could be made is that there aren't enough save blocks, but again, that's just part of the challenge. Although there were a few times where I lost almost an hour of progress due to forgoing a save block or missing it altogether. I suppose that at times I wish there was also a quicker way to travel due to Mario's slow walk speed, but at its core, that's a minor inconvenience. So, with all that in mind, is this game worth replaying or even buying in our current age of gaming? Absolutely. Throughout my replay, I found myself looking forward to getting off work each day, just so I could come home and complete another chapter, unlike some games. At no point was I bored, and the hours flew by playing it. Paper Mario for the N64 has held up remarkably well, and is sure to keep both children and adults entertained. From the gameplay to the graphics, it's a timeless classic that I've enjoyed throughout the years, and look forward to introducing to the next generation of gamers.